So today we're going to be doing a scalping exercise together to see how profitable you are over the period of 10 trades using my FTR trading strategy, and you're going to put your results in the comments section. A winner will be selected at random in 2 weeks time and be given a free month in FTR. And don't worry, if you do decide to jump the gun and join FTR in the meanwhile and your name comes out of the hat, I will reimburse your paid for month and give you an additional month for free. So let's get started. Here are the very basic rules that I want you to follow. Rule number 1, we are trading zone to zone using the M15 as your point of interest. Rule number 2, we are using a directional boss and chock bias for the M15. Explainer number 1 is for boss to occur past the POI, we must pass through the POI with a body break on the M15. And explainer number 2 for that, for chock to occur, we must require a body break past the wick. Rule number 3 is that we are taking entries only off of the M1. Rule number 4 is split into 2 parts. There are 2 TPs to take. The first one is at the nearest swing on the M1, and the second one is the next M15 zone. Rule number 5 is that there are no pending orders. We are taking these trades as traders, so we are looking for trade confirmations only. Now, those trade confirmations can come in the format of chock, or they can come from reversal candles. Rule number 6 is that if price passes through without an entry, that is a no trade and you move on to the next. And the final rule is to post your results in the comments. Okay, so 10 trades, your winners versus your losers. For example, 3 winners, 7 losers. Your TP1 total, which is to the nearest swing on the M1, and your TP2 total, which is to the next POI. It could be 15 TP1, 38 TP2, and I want to know the pair that you've traded and the dates that you've tested. Now, if you're using the M1, just bear in mind, you may not be able to go back further than a month. So I would recommend go back to about a month and start marking up the charts. I'm going to do it for the first few, just so you can see what we're going to do. And hopefully you're going to see just how powerful and profitable this strategy is. Right, so I've gone back to as far back as I think that the M1 goes for me, which is the 19th of March 2024. Don't worry about the time being 3 a.m. Obviously I wouldn't be taking this trade, but you would filter that out in your results anyway if you're starting to take this strategy seriously. First of all, bear in mind that price is always going to be in the middle of 2 POIs, okay? You might be sat in a POI, but there's still going to be one above and one below, and they are going to be your targets. So let's just talk really briefly about what POIs are and how we're going to sort of get to mark out the correct ones versus the incorrect ones. If you get the incorrect ones, don't worry, because that's part of the learning process. You jot this down in your spreadsheets, okay? Every little bit of observation that you make, you write down. First of all, it looks as though, price has just been plummeting, okay? Price has been plummeting, so higher time frames are all down quite clearly. Sort of swept above here, we've pressed down aggressively. We've had a retest of this area with this last upward candle, so price moved down, retested this sort of support and resistance zone, supply, demand, etc. It's all flipped on its head. So this is the order block. This is essentially, this green candle right here is the order block. They're blocked orders. They're people who thought that was going to bounce from here, didn't. They're stuck. They want price to come back to them, preferably to break them out at break even. Or it could be where banks level their orders in. So if you don't know how they do that, try and find a YouTube video on that, not from a YouTube guru. Try and find something from an actual banker who can explain it. That is going to be our POI above us, okay? It's just an area where price is possibly going to struggle at. Also, let's look at this structure which has happened here, okay? We've just had chock occur, okay? So we had boss working its way down on the M15. So this would have been our boss line, like the next structure to break. But we ended up going up to the highest point and we got chock with a body. Now, that means that there's a possibility that we are going to reverse and go back to the previous zone on the M15, which is up here, okay? Doesn't have to happen, but there's a probability of it happening. And the probability is much higher than if we just got involved somewhere around here, okay? So it's very well calculated the way that we do boss and chock. Having said that, I'm pretty sure with the date, just from memory, we just drop. Not sure. However, I'm going to hopefully talk you through how to get the entries, because we're not using the standard orders like what we do on my videos usually, where it's using a limit order. We're not even using stop orders. We're using reversal candles, okay? Because when you're scalping, that's pretty much all what time you've got, okay? So you've only got time to scalp and just press enter and exit. It's really, you don't have time to mark up your Gann chart and do all sorts of stuff like that, because you've got like a minute to get it sorted, and sometimes you've got to calculate percentages. It's just, you know, figure out the cost of a pip and do it like that. That's what I do. So my stop loss when I'm scalping on the 1 minute is 1 pip, okay? A lot of people say, you can't do that. Well, get a better broker, all right? So you can. So the POI below us is here. All right, so that's the immediate POI below. There's another one down here as well, which I'll mark up because pretty sure price does drop. And yeah, that's about it. But really, you only need one above and one below, okay? So we'll keep that simple. If price, it doesn't have to work its way up, it could come down now. Preferably, you can get chop, you know, which is kind of a confirmation structure. It's 4 candles minimum, but sometimes that's just a little bit too long. If there's an order block in here on the 1 minute, we'll try to get a rejection off of that, and we'll get involved on the first rejection candle, okay? And that will be our entry. Or if there isn't something good, but we can get a mitigation beyond the 2.5 of this M15, then we'll look for chop if we can, and then we'll try and work our way up. But the first target is going to be the nearest swing, or the furthest swing on the M15 at that point, okay? Now that can vary. Bear in mind, we're just taking profit on 2 places, profit 1 and profit 2, profit 2 being the furthest point, which is the next POI. But bear in mind, sometimes there are 3 places to take profit, sometimes 4. You don't have to take profit, you can just go literally zone to zone. So ideally, we're going to take profit here, profit there, and start tallying. Okay, so let's drop down to the M1 and see what we get. See if there is actually an order block in here, which we might be able to get involved with. This perhaps, okay, I'm just going to talk you through my logic behind this. Aha. Okay, so this red candle, there's imbalance above it, it's got a tiny sweep underneath it and mitigation, and then below that is curve liquidity. Okay, so it's something that I don't think I've mentioned it on YouTube. It's a completely made up concept by me, and concept means, you know, it's just sort of like, maybe it's a real thing, but it tends to happen every time. If this red candle gets ran, the rest of this should just go immediately, all right? It should go really, really fast. It happens every time because it literally looks curved. However, if I squeeze up my chart, it doesn't really look curved anymore. So it's a little bit, you know, a bit more chart experience than anything. And then down here, maybe something potential, it's not an opposite candle, but here looks like a decent place to reverse from, but it's not in a POI. So in this instance, like in real life, I'd be marking this up saying, yeah, definitely, that would be a bounce point. But in this purpose, that is not a place to get involved in. We want to do it in the POIs, okay? So let's go. Hopefully we'll get an entry at least. Okay, so in my videos usually, we would be in because we're beyond the 0.25, but we're waiting for a reversal candle, all right? It's a green candle, but it's not a reversal candle. There's no sweep, there's a wick above, but not really below. Not a good candle for me. There it is. All right, so for me, that's my entry. I'm using a 1 pip stop because that's all I use. All right, 1 pip, oh, it looks too much now. So target 1 is going to be the nearest swing, which would be here. Only a 2.1, but still, that's fine. And target 2 is up here. Okay, so 6.8, which is all right. So bear in mind, if you're putting this into a spreadsheet, you're going to be able to figure out quite quickly how much you should be taking off at TP1 and how much you should be leaving running to TP2. Also, what is your win rate, what is your lose rate, etc. So you're going to get a lot of information out of a spreadsheet if you use it correctly. My learnings came from a spreadsheet, okay? That's all what you need. Just a spreadsheet and some basic maths. Really, really basic. So let's get cracking. Let's see if we can get TP2 because that would be sweet. Looks like we're working our way down and back up and down. Okay, so did we hit, oh, we hit, sorry, I didn't even notice that. We hit TP1, which is cool. So the way that you would record this on your data is TP1 hit and the value. So it's 2.1R. Okay, so that's what you get on TP1. TP2, no hit. Was it a stop loss? No. You would have taken something out of this trade. So it's not a -1, it's a plus 2.1, okay? Now, you can do the calculations afterwards for how much you would take off and how much you would have lost if it went to stop loss, etc. But generally speaking, you should be taking at most like 1/4 of an hour on that as a loss. Now, let's move on. We've got the next zone down here. And also bear in mind, because this zone has now been used up and taken, this can come off, all right? So hopefully we've passed through on the M15, pretty much. Is there another M15 left behind at the moment? No. I'm just gonna remove what's on the chart already just to clear it up. Let's try and get a little bit of clarity. And don't worry, if you're clicking through on the M15, it doesn't matter. Like, you don't have to do this on bar replay. I'm just doing it slowly to show you guys. You can always just go back and just have a look. So let's see. Okay, right, we're in the next zone. So 1 minute. Oh, sorry, the 15. Where is the PLI? So the 15 PLI, the next 15 PLI is here. It's that green candle, it's the last push up. Why? There's imbalance just below. It's kind of rebalanced that bit though, so it might not reach up to here. And the rest of the market going down, it's rejected off of here with the sweeps. It looks like it's going down to me. I'm pretty sure from memory it goes down, but you know, it was a few months ago now, but I was quite active on the charts at this point. Anyway, M1, would we have got an entry? Yes, sir, we would. Okay, so actually straight off that one where I said I wasn't so keen on, it would have been about straight off of there, and also a difficult kind of rejection candle here. I would definitely say this one. You know, the first one's okay, second one is far better, and we'd still get a stop loss which covers the whole zone. And where's our first take profit going to be? The first one is actually going to have been hit as well, which we have hit, 3.2, and our second target is 4.7, so not much of a difference, but we'd have hit our first TP. All right, so that's good. Can we get a hit on the next one? Oh, looks like a good order block there. Can we get it? No. All right, so we don't have it. We'd have got TP1 hit twice, TP2 not hit yet. Okay, so let's bear this in mind. We've now just kind of chopped through one, we've passed through another. So on the M15, let's just swing back to here. Yeah, the M15, we got a body break, which is cool. So let's just remove this from our charts again. This is still valid. That's still a POI, it's not being hit. This one has now been invalidated because we've gone through it. We've got potential, oh, I don't like this, but we do have potential for this one nearby as well now. It's big though, it's a really big size one. You could even go from the last press down, which is what I used to do. I've started doing a lot more recently while scalping. So just doing the last press down to the highest point up before we break the structure. And let's try and find another POI, okay? Perfect, we're gonna pick this one. I'm just going to get these to like auto go to the right. There we go, that's easier. And another one just for good measure. Cool. All right, so we've got a couple there. Now we want to either get a retest of something in here, or we want to work our way down to here, possibly get a chock, get some sort of bounce, work our way up to this one. Or if we pass through this one, we want to get a retest and work our way down to the next one. All right, so really, really simple. I'm hoping that this is making sense. Let's go. Oh, sorry, still on the M15. Is there anything in here on the M1? Yep, one there, one here, one even up there as well. So if I get a rejection candle off of any of those, I'll be game to get short. It hasn't done it for us. We're now working our way into here. All right. So there's one kind of halfway down there, which is good, it's right in the middle. And we've also got access to down here. And there's only this one. All right, not superb. Well, we'll see. So, let's see what we can get. Okay, so we're working our way down, and there's a rejection. All right, so there's a rejection candle, candle number one. Do you want like a confirmation candle, like a second candle? Sometimes you might want to, because this is looking very bearish. We are now in another, was it an M1 POI? This is quite big for an M1. It's like it's 2 pips. So you could enter directly off of this. I wouldn't recommend it though. I'd wait for another confirmation candle. Okay, might as well enter now. So Here we go. Get a stop loss of 1. First target is going to be this swing right there, 2.2, not great. Next target is just going to be a next POI, which is 4.3. First target hit. Second target hit. All right, so there is kind of 4 TPs out of 3 trades, which is pretty cool. So that got hit, and because we're on a higher time frame, okay, so M15, just kind of swing back to that, we're on a higher time frame, we ideally want to be taking trades short anyway, so we want to be trying to get short off of one of these. So back down to the M1, we're going to target the M15. Okay, so let's just double check the M15 is still valid. Yep, so M1, let's see where those points of interest were for me. Oh, we kind of got one, but we've worked back to it. So there was one here. There's another one up here, which I prefer because it's the EQ. And then, oh man, it's a messy one. I don't like the look of that one. I'm not even familiar with that structure. So, but there's 3, okay, there's 3 of them. So let's see what we can get. Let's click on a little bit slowly. That was a rejection candle right there. So yeah, we could just jump in straight onto that. So like I said, you can go back in hindsight, stop loss of 1. So let's try to go to literally that swing because it's the furthest point. Furthest point is 5.3, and then the next target, preferably, is going to be down here, 22. That's worth taking. Okay, so first target is going to be a continuation of the trend on the M15, so the nearest swing of that, preferably just a break of that one initially, and then continue down to the next M15. Let's go. Let's see what we can get, if anything. Not looking great. First stop loss. Right, so hopefully it's making a bit of sense. Let's click on and get a couple more. Let's clear these off so we can clear up the charts a bit. That's being ran through now. Looks like we have rejected that area. So we've just got another top of that. We've retested it again. Looks like it's working its way down. And we have passed through this area. And it looks like on the M15, we'll get a body break. Ooh, we did. So this area is done. Okay, so we can get rid of these. Ooh. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. Get rid of these because they've been used up. And let's see if there are any M15s. It's quite messy again. I'm just going to go from that structure down to probably there, to be honest. M1, is there anything for a retest? Possibly. So the retest on the M1, let's go with here. And everything else looks like it's been used, so I'd only really be keen on that. And maybe, no, that's a bit tricky. I was going to say this one, but I'll probably say that. If we can get an entry. Nah, looks like it's going without us. It's gone without us. So just on that, oh, there we go. That would be an entry candle right there, possibly. It would be counter trend, but it would be an entry candle. Now, with this, it definitely retested this area. So if you were monitoring the charts at this time in the morning, which some of you will be, you'd see this had tested this area, which was marked out as a POI, got a test, got a retest, got a retest, another sort of attempt up, you'd have got into one of these trades probably. So what a beast that would be if you held it. What did we say? 22, 23 hour, something like that. You only need one every week, you'll be fine. But I hope that makes sense to everybody, okay? So that, because it's counter trend, we're not going to get involved in that just yet. Ideally, I would want to get chock, which would be a break from here now. So we need to work our way up and then press our way down, then get rejection candle. Okay, so no entry just yet. It's taking its time. There we go. So we would not have got that loss. Okay, so that's the difference between live trading and taking entries like this, rather than just setting pending orders, which is also fine in the right places. Anyway, put your results in the box below. Say the date and the currency pair that you're using, because I'll go back and check it. You know, I'll give you, if I've got a bit of time, I'll give you a little bit of a critique and see if I'd get the same entries as you. So pretty cool, and catch you in the next one.